Now, the pandemic has pushed many business leaders to think differently, and this is especially true of Australia's marketers. Business Weekend this week sat down with 4 of the country's top marketing executives to discover where they're finding more bang for their marketing bucks.
The last year has been challenging for just about everyone in the marketing space. I think even if you were, Coles or Woolies as an essential service, you found this year, albeit a very healthy growth year, challenging. I think customers for the first time really understood how much their home loan was a lever, how much they could use that to their advantage. And I think for the first time in a very long time, customers came to the table proactively to say, okay, need a better rate.
I think with the challenges around availability, we needed to shift our approach very much to more digital channels, because that allowed us to be more nimble around product selection and be more responsive to those changes in stock conditions. With the channel mix, obviously we again needed to move more to digital channels because that's where customers were searching and also transacting. Click and collect became a really important part of our business as well.
Yeah, from a marketing perspective, the last year has certainly presented some unique challenges for us. We've seen significant changes to consumer consumption behaviour around meal occasions, which meant that all of the insights that underpinned our marketing strategy and our brand plans were rapidly evolving, and therefore a lot of our plans were no longer relevant. So we had to get really real time in terms of basically the insights and data we looked at and how we shifted our campaign.
I think as a marketer, the best analogy I can use is to not think about your marketing investment like a light switch that you could turn off and on, but more so like a fire that you need to continue to stoke. Now, due to certain factors, say for example you can't trade, you might not want to put as much fuel on the fire, but I think it's very important that you continue to fuel that fire to a certain extent, so that when things do turn around, that you are ever present in your customer's mind.
I think the shift into more digital channels is only going to increase in importance. Certainly we've invested more in SEM because we're seeing greater opportunity there around our return on advertising investment. But I think there's also still channels like TV that remain really important to us, have historically been important and will continue to be important as well. But I think also importantly, it's one of those few channels that you can tell a really, really good story, whether that story is about short-term tactical sales opportunities or whether that's something that's more emotionally engaging. I think that TV can deliver in unlike so many other media.
Our biggest success by far, though, was clearly the award-winning Summerlam campaign that launches in the lead up to Australia Day every year. We made a really brave decision to lean into how Australians were feeling about border closures and really sort of talking about that and making that an issue.
What's on the other side, Mummy?
They're called Queenslanders.
And lamb's always been the protein that brings people together. We felt like it was an authentic thing for our brand to do, and it really resonated with people. At one point, we were the #1 trending video on YouTube. Ultimately, our ad was viewed over 10 million times on YouTube. But more importantly, for us and our industry stakeholders, we actually drove double-digit sales growth off the back of that. Which was growth rates on a really mature category that we haven't seen in over a decade's time.
What we see is we want to buy an audience, and we want to buy the most engaged and relevant audience that we want to see our communications, and I don't think a marketer can achieve that just by being myopic and looking at one particular channel or one particular medium or media. You need to look at a plethora, and I think that free-to-air TV, with all the different services they provide, are an important mix in that. They also have add another string to their bow by their video on demand services, their digital channels, and all their catch-up services.
I think through COVID, TV became more important. It's the fastest way to reach the most amount of people really you can get. So I think as we walk forward and as the brand becomes more mature, when I started with the brand 3 years ago, I think we had about 11% awareness. As of last week, we're sitting more like 46%. As that grows and grows, TV's going to become much more important, and also to wean ourselves off, the Google drug, which Google's very helpful, and then it starts becoming, a drug, and we need to start to see our way out of that.